All right, folks. Let me tell you what a horrible, horrible monster Mandy Singer is. She's not. She is absolutely not. She's not a horrible monster. That's something y'all need to understand. Mandy Singer made a post yesterday. Now, this might make sense to some of y'all with borderline personality disorder. She has borderline personality disorder. Now, unlike what many of your assumptions are, borderline personality disorder is not the same as multiple personality disorder. When she gets overly stressed, she just takes it out on the wrong people. Not always. Sometimes she'll set a boundary and then she'll change the rules and forget. Sudden you're and then she'll apologize to you afterwards. I got borderline personality disorder, Sean. I'm sorry. I know. I know. I already knew that, Mandy. It's okay. It's okay. Now, when she made that post yesterday, she was turning a black man smacking another black man over a black woman into white people's fault. White people, white people, white people. That's not sane. Now, she does have bouts of that, and it depends on the stressors in her. I'm well aware, I am well aware that the stressors in her life could result in her taking it out on me. And she did that about 5 or 6 times while I was there. And every time she apologized. She said, hey, you know what? This is the situation with my family. And of course, oh, connection unstable. Well, we'll open the door a little bit because it's hot as hell. And maybe we'll get better connection this way, but I don't know for certain. Oh, I got it all the way up. I don't know if this is doing any good. Anyway, the unfortunate fact of the matter is, I do have to make sure that I share the entire truth. If you ditch me before you tell the entire truth, nothing but the truth, well, I'm going to do it. There are too many lives at stake, and that includes Mandy Singer's. See, here's the thing that most of y'all don't know. Mandy Singer had to distance herself several times while I was there because she didn't want to get in trouble with Lisa. Lisa quit, by the way. I'm pretty sure she was probably pushed out. Nearly all of these people I complained about quit. Now, why did they all quit? Because, well, then magically they can't be pursued. For some reason. I don't get that. I don't understand it. Now, with Mandy Singer, of course, she's got people in her family who are mixed. By mixed, I mean they're mutts like me. Some of them have darker skin. Mandy's not a bad person. She's got her own problems. Now, she admitted that one of those posts on the day that Natalie Bollinger disappeared, and Natalie's mother wanted to get on there and be an asshole. That's right, folks, I said it. That's the thing about Natalie and Alicia and their mother and Maddie Boa. They're just terrible people. They're addicts. Addicts are terrible people. That doesn't necessarily make them evil. They're just not very good at peopling. They're very good at manipulating. That comes with addiction. You learn how to be manipulative, and Mandy admitted that. And while I was there, she gave me permission to record the whole time that I was there. I had permission to record everything, but I didn't. And why not? Because I felt that she was going to be honest. And she was. A lot of the people that I asked to come forward and speak up, like Mandy Singer, oh my God, she was so fucked up on meth. There was nothing that she could have done to be helpful. Except that that post about her missing son, she should have said something about 5 years ago. But she didn't. That's the problem with not correcting something when it's happening. Kind of like that little boy on the playground who hit your daughter, and you tell her, he hit you because he likes you. Well, you've just given her the wrong impression, and you've let that little boy think that he can get away with it, just like you let Whale and Lolatai think that he could get away with it, just like you let Clearview Behavioral Health think that they could get away with it. And guess what? They did get away with it. So Mandi Singer got on there, and of course, Rose M. Kelly is not on my friends list. Matter of fact, she blocked me, which is good. It's good. It's good that Rose M. Kelly blocked me. I'm trying to have her put in prison for what she did. Personally, I think that out of all of the people involved from that family, Rose M. Kelly is the one who deserves prison the least. But at the same time, the violent manipulation and the coercion and the working together with police to deny me the right to even show up in court, these things are all illegal. They're illegal on paper, but in reality, they're only illegal if you care. Now, let me tell you how much of this stuff is actually Mandi Singer's fault. That part right there, that is Mandi Singer's fault. It is Mandi Singer's fault that even though I let her know pretty much immediately what was going on, she didn't correct it. Same thing with Shauna Sinclair. She was angry, but she didn't correct it. Same thing with Candace Bondurant, and she didn't correct it. Now, what happened with that little boy on the playground who hit your daughter? He thought it was okay. He thought he would get away with it, and he did it to somebody else. And he'll keep on doing it until there are consequences. There are no consequences for the predators, only consequences for the victims. It's a poverty issue. The more impoverished somebody is, the more likely they are to understand what equality is. Mandi Singer fucked up a lot, and I still helped her out how I could when she asked. And if she asks for my help tomorrow and I'm able to provide it, she will get it. If Rose M. Kelly calls me up tomorrow and says, hey, I need your help, she will get it. If Alicia Bollinger calls me up tomorrow and says, Sean, I need your help, she will get it. When I love somebody, I love them, and that's the way it is. It ain't got nothing to do with sex. It's got nothing to do with gender. I love you like a dog. I love you like a dog. Because humans are disgusting creatures. Now, I got to let out some Mandi Singer's secrets. No, I don't. Do you know why I don't need to expose Mandi Singer's secrets? Because she's not keeping any. She's not keeping any secrets. She did the right thing. Not last night she didn't, but last night she was obviously overwhelmed with situations and circumstances in her life. Now, is that making excuses for a predator? Well, no, it's not, because what she did wasn't predatory, but it was harmful. There's a lot of people who have good intentions, but their good intentions are harmful. Like Frankie, for example. No, not Frankie, because he didn't have good intentions. He looked away for 5 years. These people could have corrected the slander by telling the truth, but they didn't. And I had to show it. And they're all angry about the fact that I had to show the truth because they didn't correct those behaviors as they were happening, when they happened. They thought if they just ignored it, it would go away. But what they allowed was for the slander to continue. What they allowed is for a false narrative to be sold. What they allowed is for me to be harmed for years and years and years because they simply didn't care enough to tell the truth. Now, am I going to go harming Mandi Singer? No. Shit, you blocked me. I don't want to be anywhere near you. You unblock me and talk to me like a human being. It's different. When I was being harmed over a false narrative, Natalie knew that it was a false narrative. Natalie knew that it was a false narrative. So did Alicia Bollinger. So did Maddie Boa. I was being harmed, physically assaulted, prevented from my support network. And then it gets frustrating that I have to do this from miles away. That I have to wait until they have time in their busy lives. And most of them, their lives aren't that busy. Now, I gave Mandi Singer $400 to help me. That $400 was so that she could get a computer. And she got a computer and she got some pot. And of course, pot is illegal in Nebraska. So she thanked me for that. She said, I was really stressed out and I had my gallbladder surgery and the medications they gave me were making things worse. And I spent that money on pot and, that was the only thing that would help me. And, I would have preferred that money went to getting a real computer. While I was there, she spent most of her time on that computer helping out her daughter or zooming on the net or working on all of the things that, because she lives in low income, all of the stuff that she is required to do in order to have that low income place. And she's got to do all that on the computer. And it's really not much of a computer. It's basically a tablet. It don't got shit for room. And there's also the fact that she never actually bothered to look at 90% of the stuff. Now, that's a time constraint, and that's understandable. Now, that time constraint isn't my fault, it's entirely Mandi's. That time constraint exists because she didn't come forward at the very beginning because she was too fucked up on drugs. And guess what? She admitted that. The fact that she admitted it is the reason that she's not a terrible monster like Natalie Bollinger and Alicia Bollinger and Ted Bollinger and Candace Bondurant. See, I respect honesty. I don't respect cowards. Mandi was honest. She also helps to find missing and murdered Indigenous people, just like me. She doesn't just post up about missing and murdered Indigenous women, though. If you send Mandi Singer something about someone who's missing, she'll post it. She'll try to help you find your missing loved one, and so will I. I'm not going to allow people to treat Mandi Singer like her disability is something that they can make fun of like they do to me. Many of these people who promised to help me were only web nut jobs who did horrible, horrible things. And then when they got busted, what did they do? They made fun of my disabilities. Went out of their way to throw stuff in my face that's an outright lie. And I was trying to show them that, but of course, this was just entertainment to you guys. What Mandi Singer is going through right now is not fantasy. What she's going through right now is not entertaining to her. What I'm going through right now is not entertaining to me. Yes, Mandi Singer blocks me. But she also gave me vital information before she did that. She let me know that Lisa quit her job. I let her know that my personal belief is that that was over the situation with me. Let's hope Penny Cooper loses her job. Penny Cooper, though, she belongs in prison as well. What she did was felonious. She is accepting government money to perform a job that she's not performing, just like Tara Smith receiving money for a job she's not performing, just like Scott DaCosta and his deputies being paid for services that they are not providing. Do you seriously think that it's okay to pay a sheriff to victimize a disabled person? I'm not talking about baldness. I got that. I also have Tourette syndrome. I also had ADHD. Dr. Diamond talked about that, how you can have something when you're a kid, but when you become an adult, you grow out of it. Most of the stuff that I was diagnosed with as a kid was due to the fact that, number one, medical science was pretty much shit. Number two, I was in the system where they don't give a fuck. They just drug the hell out of you and call it good. Mandi Singer went through hell, and she admitted that. You can listen to the recordings with her. She was raped repeatedly. She was beaten repeatedly. She had to pick a boyfriend while she was homeless because that boyfriend would only abuse her once every month or every couple of months or every few months. But the fact that he was there prevented hundreds of other crimes against her. The fact that her boyfriend was present when she went to bed prevented homeless drunks. Yes, homeless, but not just homeless drunks. There's a lot of college kids that do this too. They'll rape you in your sleep. Or they'll invite you to their house with the invitation of a warm place to stay for the night. And you get there and it's not what you thought. Mandi Singer speaks about those things. It takes a lot of strength to do what Mandi Singer did. Am I angry with her for blocking me? Well, just a little bit. Just a little bit. There's a lot of stuff that I'm mad about, but I have to understand that her disabilities had a lot to do with that, and her drug addiction had a lot to do with that. Now, the drug addiction part, it's a good thing she admitted it. Natalie Bollinger, all the shit with her was over her drug addiction and her sister's drug addiction, and them fighting over a boy. You're damn right I speak out. God bless America, right? No, not at all. Now, when it comes to the First Amendment, you don't have First Amendment rights on YouTube or Facebook. You probably noticed that the Facebook algorithms are they're sexist. But then you've also got the watchdog weirdos. See, these are, all right, for example, if you want to get somebody's stuff removed, you really have to be a professional in going out of your way to destroy somebody else's voice. And it's women, primarily women, who have that experience. It is primarily women who get involved in drama, who don't mind their own business, who want to get involved in something that they don't know shit about. They're just taking somebody's word for it because they have a vagina, or because you're speaking out about sexism from women. Yes, women can be sexist. We see this every day. Ooh, maybe I should slide that over. That's my dash cam. Yes, people, I installed a dash camera into my vehicle. Let's take a look at this. It's not plugged in right now, but this thing is badass. $20 at Wally World. It's too bad it's not rear facing, but it's still there, and that's a good thing. Now, some of y'all might say stuff like, "Oh, well, you're making excuses, just like you were complaining about people doing with Jada Pinkett Smith." No, I don't recognize what she has as a disability. Bald is not a disability. Yes, it'll get you picked on. Yes, it'll get you fooled with. Now, those of you who want to complain about his joke, it was a funny joke. We got that Amy Schumer lady or whatever her name is, got a whole skit about abortion. Abortion's not fucking funny, is it? No, it's not. But apparently, there's a lot of people that laugh at it, ain't there? Now, when I was at Dallas's house, he used to play comedy stuff on the radio because it helps him to have a little laugh instead of dwelling on his shitty ass life. And that's not saying his entire life is shitty, but he's got his own problems that are not your business. Now, if he does the cruel, evil shit that everybody else did, well, then yeah, it's no longer his business. It's our business because he was involved in every step of this situation. And if there's ever a situation where I'm able to get a lawyer and actually do something about this, yeah, Dallas is an important part of that. Dallas was there for a lot of things. And yeah, he's afraid to stand up to Chapel, Nebraska, especially the sheriff, especially after Dual County Sheriff Scott DaCosta threatened him and his kids. Yeah. Also, I have that recorded, so it's not like I can't prove it. And that's the best part. But I don't believe that Dallas is going to do that. And here's why. Because the situation, as far as that was going, well, his ex got a hold of me and she admitted her wrongs. You have no idea how important that is. Harley getting a hold of me to admit her wrongs and say it's all right. Everybody in town already knows anyway. I know, Harley, and I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry it had to go down the way that it did. I'm sorry that it went down that way. I'm sorry that Sheriff Scott DaCosta was going to try to get your kids permanently taken away from you because Dallas was doing the right thing. I'm sorry about that, Harley. Now, I've seen how the kids are. The kids are well adjusted. They are well adjusted. So, how bad of parents could they possibly be? Dallas got screwed over repeatedly, over and over. Now, he was also assaulted repeatedly in front of me. He had things thrown at him in front of me. And I told Dallas, I said, hey, man, you know what? I was about to call the cops because I was that afraid. Not for you, but for me. And there's a few times I was going to call for his safety. But I had to worry about it because if I make that call, there's a good chance that Dallas would be the one arrested because he has a penis. Now, a lot of these statistics that they have are based on bias. If a man is assaulted by a woman and calls 911, there's a pretty good chance that he's going to be arrested, which is why 98% of all abuse, all physical abuse towards men goes unreported. The 2% that is reported is against other men in most cases. So when you look at the arrest records versus the actuality of the situation, like a lot of black people are saying, these arrest records do not show that black people are more violent or more criminal or anything like that, because look at the ratio of them being arrested to white people being arrested for the same stuff. Yeah, obviously black people are being targeted by the courts. It's not like we can hide that. But at the same time, not every black person going through the courts is a victim. Whereas most of the homeless people going through the courts absolutely are. Well, maybe not most, about half. But also, that half, the majority of the crimes that they're guilty of, are crimes of immorality. These laws are immoral. They're specifically meant to target the homeless because of the 13th Amendment. When all the slaves in the South became free, they were all magically homeless all of a sudden. And the South immediately started passing those, well, you hear about the Jim Crow laws. They knew those weren't going to last long. Those lasted longer than they should have, too. But the anti homeless laws, those are still on the books everywhere. Matter of fact, those are also in conjunction with Roman rental agreements. Maybe you guys should go back and look at the Roman rental agreements and also we should eat them for dinner. By the way, I don't actually think we should eat them for dinner, but I saw that post this morning. All of you guys have seen it, I'm sure, about how we should just eat all the rich. And my God, that's fucking funny. So, when it all comes down to it, there's a lot of stuff with Mandy Singer I got to start collecting and posting up. It's most of it is not about Mandy herself. It's about what she knew. It's about the conversations between her and I, the things that she said that, well, if they're public, it makes a big difference. If the general public had heard those things, it would make a big difference. I also told Mandy there was one morning when she had a really, really, really bad episode, and I was gonna say I'm not gonna go into it, but I'm absolutely gonna. First of all, she was afraid that Lisa was not going to do her job to help Mandy because Mandy was honest about the situation between me and Missy Bruce, or Veronica Bruce. Um, she was also having issues with the fact that her landlord, all of her neighbors, hate her because she used to be homeless. They try to call in every little possible thing because they want her out of there. They hate her because she used to be. This is low income, and these people hate her because she used to be homeless. She sobered up. She got off the meth. She needs help, though. She is disabled and she's not getting disability. Also, there's a good possibility that she might be autistic. However, this is the problem with misdiagnosis. If she is autistic, chances are pretty good that she's not actually, well, her personality disorder is not a personality disorder if she's autistic. Her traits are autistic traits, and there's a good chance that she is. And her family shows traits of autism as well, and she's spoken about this on this channel. I'm allowed to be angry at Mandy. I will not promote violence. Sorry, I will not promote attacking people. Violence is rarely the answer, but when it is the answer, it is the only answer. When somebody is just trying to beat me up, no biggie. Somebody's trying to kill me, big difference. Growing up in the system, people tried to kill me, and I fucked them up. On the outs, people just try to beat me up, and I can get away with just taking it. Unless, of course, it's multiple officers trying to harm you for trying to turn one in. All right, what should I end this one with? Roast in hell, maybe? No. I should probably explain other things that were going on. Mandy was having issues because her daughter was getting severely screwed over. So she was trying to help her daughter. And then there was a bunch of issues with daycare. So Mandy had to take care of her grandkids a whole lot extra. And it's difficult to make the time to help somebody when you're doing that. Now, I offered her $20 an hour to help. She refused to take my money. She said, Sean, I don't want to take your money. I need it, but I'm not going to take it. I refuse to take your money. I'm not going to have these nut jobs who are doing these things to you. I'm not going to have them claim that you paid me to lie. I wasn't trying to pay anybody to lie. I was trying to pay him to look at evidence and speak up. She did look at a lot, but her personal life prevented her from keeping her word. The fact is, unlike the rest of these friggin' nut jobs, at least Mandi admitted it. Mandi, my hat's off to you. Much respect. I love you, Mandi. Thank you for everything. You're a badass.